Hello and welcome to Inspire Her, the program that uplifts, equips and empowers women to walk boldly in purpose and become a voice of impact. You are watching us on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and 100% motivational television station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos. I'm your host, Atinuke Odjenima, and today's episode is one that speaks deeply to the heart. We're talking about legacy, not just what we leave behind, but what we're building right now. Our topic is leaving a legacy, empowering the next generation of winners. As women, how can we leave a mark in our families, communities, and country? How do we pass on wisdom, shape values, and raise the bar for generations to come? Joining me in this empowering conversations are my incredible co-hosts, Esther Evbodaghe, a seasoned finance expert, entrepreneur, ordained deaconess, and passionate mentor who empowers women and youth through financial literacy and faith. And Ngozi Ochuba, a respected pharmacist and wellness advocate, committed to helping women rediscover themselves and prioritize their wealth and wholeness at every stage of life. So, wherever you are, tune in, take notes, and reflect. Because legacy isn't just what we leave, it's what we live for. This is Inspire Her. Welcome Ngozi, welcome Madam Esther. Good to have you again.
Nice seeing you again, Atinuke.
So you're ready?
Glad to be here.
Of course, it should be. I mean, because today's topic, we were talking about legacy.
Wow.
Legacy. And our leaving a legacy for the next generation of winners. And of course our children are winners. Our children are winners because they are the next generation after us, isn't it?
Right.
And I think it's going to be a kind of reflective conversation
very
that
we
should be talking about. And like I earlier said, it's not just about what we're doing, but what we're building. What we're living our lives for, right? So let's get the conversation started.
That's good.
I always like Madam Esther to lead the foundation. She's always there to give us the...
Yes.
So let's get started.
That's interesting. Well, legacy is not what you leave for people. Rather, legacy is what you build in people. A lot of women assume that legacy means money, name, or land. But the truth is, legacy is not about inheritance. Legacy is influence, wisdom, and value passed down intentionally. So as women, we should ask ourselves some genuine questions. What mindset do I want to leave behind? What examples do I want to be remembered for? So these are very important because the next generation of women will not remember all your titles, but they will never forget how you made them feel seen, strong, and capable. So that is why it is very important that we leave a lasting legacy. And some of the ways to leave a good legacy is to teach the next generation of women how to budget, negotiate, and speak up. And that is exactly what we are doing on this platform. Another way is to expose them to opportunities and be a door opener for them. Recommend them for roles, job opportunities, and scholarship. And if God places you in a position of authority or in a position of influence, don't leave these young women behind. Recommend them for job opportunities. Don't give them a seat at the table. It's very important. Don't feed them from the side. because that is empowerment. And you know, legacy is when your voice keeps speaking, even when you have gone silent. That is what legacy is about. So you need to teach them confidence. They need to have confidence and they need to be bold. It's very important because young women of this generation, they are very smart. They watch you and they see how you live your life. So building a lasting legacy is not about giving just advice and guidance, but it's about giving access to the next generation of women. So I would say that is what legacy is all about.
She said two things that are very profound.
No, this is
a starting statement.
A deep introduction to legacy.
Introduction to that legacy. You know, she said legacy is when your voice is still
Speaking. Even when
When
you've
you've
gone
gone
silent.
silent.
Yes.
Whoa, that's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep.
Because what
When you've gone silent in what? In your voice. When you've gone silent in your actions.
Yes.
When you've gone silent in everything. But
even
yet,
when you are no longer
your words
there,
are still
but the
speaking.
voices keep ringing
Ringing.
in the ears of those who have heard you speak.
Another one she said,
Oh.
sorry, please, I don't want to lose I'll hand over to you now, was when she said, legacy is not what you do for people.
Yes,
It
it's not what you live.
It's not what you
You
live.
live
It's not
for
what you
people.
live for
For
people,
people.
but what you live
in
in them.
them.
Yes.
Wow.
Please, I
The
said,
And
impact
that is it.
that you make in people's life.
That is it.
That is what legacy
She has
is
said
all
what it
about.
is. You know, what is legacy? She has given us a profound, holistic definition and explanation of what it is.
That she
She started it so well. It can't be better said.
absolutely.
So there's nothing else to say in defining
defining
what legacy is. But like what she said, I think I would just kind of maybe reframe it in one sentence. Is what you leave, you know. Legacy is like a seed you plant that continues to bloom even long after you've gone. You know, when a plant blooms, it produces a lot of harvest, fruits.
So legacy is a seed that doesn't die.
It doesn't die.
That's true.
It doesn't die. So even the fact that you've planted that seed, and that takes me back to what Madam Esther said. She said it is not what you leave for people. It's what you put into people. So when you plant a seed, you put it into the ground, into a fertile ground. And once the right elements are provided, the sunlight and the water, you know, we're using planting to explain this. Once the right elements are there, this seed continues to grow. And you know the good thing about when you have planted a tree will live years after you've gone. It keeps growing and produces more fruits and seeds that could be replanted, and it outlives you in every aspect. You understand? Touches all areas of one's life. That is what of other people's life, even after you're long gone. Like she said, even when the voice is silent, the legacy keeps speaking.
Yes. Just to add to what Ngozi said now, you know, there are so many examples of women who have left a lasting legacy. Let's even look at Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, one of Nigeria's foremost female activists who fought for women's suffrage and education in the 20th century. And you remember the story of Dr. Ameyo Adedavo, whose selfless action during the Ebola breakout saved countless lives and reshaped Nigerians' approach to public health. And you now have women who are doing wonderfully well by leaving some lasting legacy, like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who is using literature to challenge gender norms and also promoting African narratives. And of course, you know Dr. Ngozi Ochuba, a global leader in finance and development, and the first Africa to lead the World Trade Organization. So these are women who are now building very lasting legacy. So let's celebrate them because they deserve to be celebrated.
Of course, I mean, talking about legacy, and while we're celebrating them, which I'm happy we just did, and we'll continue to do. You know, as you ladies were talking, I became a little emotional and being introspective somehow. That in what way, you know, am I living a life? What am I leaving behind? You know, what legacy am I creating? And I think this is also what we want to achieve with this topic on this episode. You know, if peradventure we've not started, you know, living our life on legacy, we should be more intentional, conscious, deliberate on ensuring that we build this legacy. I mean, it's this is not one of the very interesting topic, but it's more emotional.
It speaks back to you.
It speaks back to us.
As you listen.
So then that then leads me to this question now that, you know, I just said now that what am I doing? And if we are not, how then do we begin? So how can women effectively mentor women, effectively mentor younger generation of girls and women?
Okay.
You know, we mentioned intentional, deliberate, conscious. So how then can we effectively
in every topic? Because the truth is that you don't leave things to chance. You need to be, if you really desire to achieve a goal, you need to be intentional and deliberate about it. You need to take actions and put in strategies and systems that will help you achieve that thing. So coming to the question on how to mentor young girls, I think the truth is that every woman is in a position of to play that role of mentorship. Every woman. There's no woman that is left out. Okay. You always have people in your sphere of influence. So the examples she gave might make somebody think that it's only people in high positions or people that are highly placed or people that are in certain cadre that can actually leave strong legacies behind. It's not true. Everybody has something in them that they can plant in somebody else. Okay, for example, what about a trader in maybe Alaba market, a woman that is doing well in her business, and she's able to bring another woman closer to teach her the secret of the business. She has actually empowered this woman. And this woman she has empowered, I don't think we'll forget her quickly. Do you understand? So, like I said before, and I'm repeating it again, we all have things to do, things to put into the next person. We just need to be accessible and intentional about it. We all can advocate. We all can create transformative solutions and make it easier for the younger generation coming behind us. So there's every woman, for example, a woman that should insist that the girl child should be given the same opportunity in education as the boy child. Yeah. It's leaving a legacy behind. She's changing the norm. So it is not just about breaking glass ceilings. You know, we're always talking about women changing norms, breaking glass ceilings. It's about sustaining it as well. So we need to speak out loud against harmful practices. You understand? Anything that seems to hold the woman back in society, if you speak out about it, even in your little corner, maybe in your village meeting, you are building legacy there because you're changing the norm to empower the women, especially those coming after you. Because if you make the society or the community agree to change something that has been unfavorable to women, that is a legacy you leave behind, because it means other women coming after you in that society would not suffer what you have suffered. That means you have softened the ground for them to develop faster.
Awesome. You have something to say to that about how women can effectively mentor younger generations of...
Just a follow-up to what Ngozi has said. Mentorship is a way of multiplying our impacts. Some of the ways that we can mentor young women is to lead by example. That is, we have to be authentic in anything we do. Because the young women of this generation are very smart. They watch us. A young woman wants to see a confident woman and a successful woman that reflects their dream. And the way to do that is to share your stories. And in sharing your stories, you must be authentic. You must share your failures as well as your setback, because authenticity builds trust. Another way to mentor the next generation of women is to listen first, then you guide second. Because most of these young women feels misunderstood or unheard. So you need to listen deeply to what they have to say, and at the same time, you ask questions, because each mentee has their different needs. Some, it could just be emotional support that they need. Some, they need structure and exposure. So that is why it's important to listen to them first, then you can guide them. Then you need to provide practical support, and that is by helping out with their CV reviews. Then you also help them with job, school application, as well as career guidance. So these are ways to mentor these young people. And if God puts you in a position of authority, then you help out with, recommend them for job roles and all that, and teach them confidence, and let them be able to speak up, especially in this system where cultural expectation can limit a girl's child. So ability to speak up can actually, be very helpful to them. So these are some of the ways that you can help mentor young women.
Fantastic perspective. And I will just, in contribution to that, I will just add that, younger generation, younger people, we don't even have to look too far. That's the way I think that, we look within before looking without, right? So even our children are younger generations,
That's
isn't
true.
it? So even, and that's why I liked what she said about that we don't have to, be up high there before we mentor. That is, before we mentor younger people.
Mentorship is even just encouraging that young girl to go to school.
So then I asked her, how does she mean? So what I meant when I asked her, what I had in mind then was just to say, even our own children is our first responsibility to mentor them. I say something that if you cannot change the world, change your family.
That's true.
Let that
And you've
change,
changed the generation.
Start with your family and you change the generation. Fantastic conversation so far. So let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
So we're talking about legacy, right? And how we can mentor younger generation. And I was saying before we went on break that we don't even need to look too far as parents, right? I mean, as mothers, as women, even we can mentor our own children. But my next question would now be that I want us to all contribute on would be beyond our family, in what ways can women, contribute in shaping policies, for, for the future, so now in shaping policy now, it means that it's beyond our family. What role can women play in shaping policy?
Society.
Yes, and advocating for a better future in the bigger society. Yeah, beyond our families.
Okay. What it means is that women cannot stay back and just hope things would happen. It wouldn't. Women have to be intentional, especially women now have to find their way to the decision-making tables.
Fantastic. Women will have to find their way into decision-making tables.
Be it in the boardroom of organizations, be it in government, like we have the House of Senate. Look at the House of Senate of Nigeria, just 4 women out of the hundreds. Be it in our community leadership, women have to be there. So that when issues concerning women are brought up, women will be there to speak up
issues
for themselves.
Women and girls.
Yes, women should be there to speak up for themselves because they are like, it affects them. They know where it hurts them. They know what women want concerning how the society should affect them.
They are better a voice.
Yes, to also help to manage these policies in such a way that the impact affects them positively and not even the other way around. Because sometimes policies are brought out and you find out that it actually even worsens the situation of the woman. So the woman has to be there to make sure that these policies are shaped in such a way that it helps the woman.
So even in policy making, the role that women will bring is to bring in the feminine perspective. Yes, on whatsoever the issues are.
Because the issues that affect women necessarily won't be exactly the way it affects a man. You know, if you are talking about maternity leave, it's the woman who is pregnant. So she knows what she goes through at that period. So she will advocate from her own personal experience, which a man may not necessarily have that kind of experience. So he will advocate from what he feels or what he thinks, not necessarily from experience. Then apart from that, apart from being in the boardroom or in the decision-making tables, you know, the woman also should help, you know, to nurture the ones coming behind her. Like I said before, the women should have a strong voice in speaking out generally where they are. Because like I said earlier, it is not just for women in high cadre. We should encourage women wherever you are, be it in just your immediate extended family.
I think you said it, that women should find themselves in
your extended family. There might be practices there that you notice. Maybe the wives married into that family are being shortchanged in one thing or the other. Don't be afraid to speak up, especially if you know it's not okay by you. A woman that when the husband dies, like in some traditions, you find out that the husband families will want to come to cheat her out of her husband's property, probably because she's standing alone, she doesn't have a voice. If that woman should stand up against that and refuse to be cheated out of her family, her late husband's property, then that means she's actually changing the norm. Next time when a thing like that happens, that family will think twice before they would want to shortchange the next woman. And the next woman, having seen that the other woman was able to fight back, to hold on to what is actually hers, would not stay back and let them cheat her out. So wherever we are, or in whatever situation we are, there is something there to advocate for the empowerment of women. Let's just take a closer look. There's always something to speak up against.
Awesome. Madam Esther, how do women shape policies?
Honestly, sometimes I just have a reflection and say, God is awesome. Because, Atinuke, I don't know how this world would function without women. Because our presence shapes everything.
Wow.
When a woman is in leadership or in decision-making role, they come up with smarter choices.
Oh, you mean smarter?
Yes, and everyone benefits.
But Ngozi said that, you know, women come up with perspectives that concerns women and girls. But you say smarter, so it means that across whatever the issues are.
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
And you know, women represent silent voices. When women have a seat at the decision table, they consider decisions that affects family, children, and the vulnerables.
I agree.
The needs of the vulnerable are better addressed and seen. So women, like I said before, they represent silent voices because they take decisions that benefits everyone. Then women fight for rights. When a woman is in a position of authority, decision-making position, they consider so many things. They stand up for the rights of the women. They ensure that there is safety in workplaces. They ensure that we are protected against violence. So you cannot take away the place of woman in decision making. And when a woman is in leadership position or decision making position, they help the economy grow. Because once a woman is in leadership, she provides job for people and she ensures that she supports the family. And women take care of environment. Women, if you go to places where there is violence, they help to build peace. So women are peace builders. So I would say generally that when you give a woman a seat at the table, then things are better because they will help to shape the future.
Awesome. Fantastic. And, you know, I want us to, you know, quickly kind of wrapping up this conversation, but this is my perspective on it too. And you said something very profound, like look at the House of Representatives,
yes,
right? That in Nigeria, and we have hundreds of men, and then we have just little or no representation of women. You know,
like
so and these are people, these are people that they are politically, you know, at decision making, policy making platforms, and yet we have very few women at those places. Then you mentioned also boardroom. So now places where policies will be shaped, places where places like in political space, policies are being made, are being shaped. At the boardroom, in the market areas, policies are being shaped, right? And she also mentioned something. Ngozi mentioned something about even in your family, you know, policies, some values or policies are being made and so in all of this now, at all decision making levels, policies are being shaped. But then how can we as women, you know, advocate for a better future and be part of this policy making thing? She also said again that the voices of women needs to be heard, right? Needs to be heard so that we find our ways into decision. I like that when she said that we find our ways into decision making platforms so that we can better shape policies that affect not only us, girls, and our families, but also for future generations to come, because women are nurturers. So they say when you train a woman, you say they've trained a nation, right? And even not just a nation, even generations too. Okay, so I would say that women should be bold and be confident in themselves enough, you know, to know that they have what it takes, to be at the decision making platforms. Because the question is, why don't women be at those decision making platforms? Because if we are not there, we can't shape policies. We can't also even make the future a better place for ourselves and for our children. So I think that we should begin to look out for ways to get into those places, to get into those positions. But most importantly, let's even start, which is how I want us to wrap up. Okay. To wrap up, and you share your thoughts with me, is how women can, contribute to positive changes, you know, across board, in our families, you know, in our, what's it called now? In our extended nuclear family, extended family, on the boardrooms, that's in the marketplaces, right, and also at the governmental level, at the public level, at national level. So how can we contribute to positive changes at those? You can pick anyone, all right, at those any areas. How can we contribute? Then I believe that reason why I said so is because I believe that if we're able to contribute to small positive changes,
Yes.
One at a time.
one at a time, you know, one aspect of life
right.
at one level, then we are able to create.
I would say at this point, just start where you are. Use what you have. You don't need to have more to be able to do something meaningful. It could just be sharing your story with one girl child. It could be teaching one lesson. It could be feeding one child. It could be giving one encouraging word to one woman. It could be giving what you have in terms of time, talent, and treasure. You know, these are ways. Then you must make sure that you let your voice be heard. You must speak up. Ask questions where everybody is silent. Because a woman's voice must not only be valid, it must be valuable. And speaking up will help shake some systematic barriers and cultural expectation. And additionally, I would like also to say that, you know, when you keep quiet, you maintain broken system. But when you speak up, you shake broken system. So it's very important that you speak up.
I will take that as your as your closing remark.
Yes,
So go on.
Yes, it's very important for a woman to speak up in anywhere you find yourself. So these are some of the ways you can contribute your own.
Absolutely. Ngozi, please pick up from what she said. What was the last thing that she said? Very profound.
Silent voice.
How
do you put it? Maintains
system.
broken system.
Yes.
But when you speak up, you shake the broken system.
Yes.
That means you probably help to shake it back into position.
Yes.
You know, orchestrate things to happen positively. No, coming to speak about this legacy and how the woman advocates. Like I said before, and she's repeated it again, advocate from where you are.
Yes.
So with respect to the family, we still have a lot of traditional families where resources would rather be channeled to the boy child because of the society we found ourselves in. But we can see that women also make very good experts. You have women pilots, you have women engineers, and they are doing absolutely great things. So we don't limit the girl child and think that her position is just in the kitchen. No, so even when you are in a family where there are limited resources and they now think that the boys can go to school where the women should be limited to being trained and nurtured to become wives. If you find yourself in that place, you should speak up against it. So you are shaping society starting from where you are. Then for women that are in the market, if women come together and, you know, ask for better infrastructures and speak up against infrastructures in the market because they want to be more comfortable and do better where they are advocating for better condition of work.
That's right.
If a teacher, a female teacher encourages her female students not to shy away from science, technology, engineering and mathematics-based courses, that teacher is actually changing the norm, because before you know it, that teacher is going to be producing a lot of doctors, mathematicians, engineers, and so much, and more. That will be women, because he's encouraged the girl child not to shy away from this topic. And that teacher is now leaving a legacy behind, a legacy of, you know, harnessing and harvesting women in this career that in some places, in quote, it looks like it's just left for the men. But now we can see that the women are also finding and also making their marks in those places. So there are so many ways to advocate wherever you are.
Awesome.
Wherever you are.
So I like the example that you cited. I mean, wherever you broke it down to give examples of wherever you are. Yeah. And so this to me sounds like wherever you are, you can contribute. You can do some small things in a little way that makes a big difference, that brings about, brings about positive change that contributes to a lasting legacy.
I want to add that it will not just happen. We need to be conscious and intentional. Because when something is in your consciousness, then your focus will also be there. You'll be looking out for those things that actually is undermining the girl child, wherever you have found yourself. And once you see them, because you're conscious, you won't miss it. And you would begin, to work it out in your head, how you can make a change. And those changes are the legacies we're talking about. Because when those changes are made, the ones coming behind you have a better lit path to their success and advancement.
So my final thoughts, my final thoughts on this is that legacy is not about what you leave behind, but rather how you impact people. So I would say to every woman out there, let us rise and empower a generation of women who will dare to dream bigger, reach higher, and lead by purpose. So this is the legacy worth living.
Thank you so very much, Ma. Thank you. And, this legacy talk, I'm so humbled, but I know that it's a good conversation that we should have.
Yes, we
so
should
that
have
we
more
begin
of
to
it,
be
really.
more, so that we can be more intentional. You mentioned being intentional, being conscious about it, knowing that the little work that we do right now, they go a long way. Thank you so very much, ladies. I'm glad to have you on this particular show.
Nice being here too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you for being part of this inspiring journey today on Inspire Her. As we wrap up this episode, may you remember that your legacy begins with the choices you make today. You don't have to be perfect to make an impact. You just have to be willing. Let's continue the conversation. Follow Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for more Inspire Her content and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts.
My name is Christiana Salmon, Mrs. State Coordinator, NYC Lagos. Keep watching Achievement Channel. Is a motivational channel.
My name is Mrs. Imelda Hunosuji. You can call me Madam Modesty. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.